Let's say I have Zomato. Now I'm going to give you a situation. So the user is basically added one item to the cart. Okay, there is this Andhra veg meals which has been added to the cart over here in Zomato. Okay, you need to increase the conversions. You have to increase the checkout conversions. That means people need to check out quickly. How do we do that? There is one raw idea which is being presented over here. After adding, suggest likely add-ons, quick add, and guide them to the cart. Tell me, how is this idea related to improving checkout conversions? Okay. By going and suggesting likely add-ons, it looks like I am increasing the average order value. Correct? Yes. But then here I'm saying improve on checkout conversions, and further the idea is to show all the add-ons. How? Explain me. Tell me.
If they like the item, they can add directly then and there and then move forward with it.
Correct? Okay, maybe answer it this way. If that is not happening, how is it affecting conversions? They anyway came there. They'll select the items and go, no? So how is it affecting conversions? See, if you talk about the emotion of the user, right now, if I have to, I anyway came here, I selected one item. Very unlikely that I'll order only one item. Very unlikely, right? So obviously, what is happening? What is the next action the user is trying to do? They're going to scroll the entire menu, correct? They're going to do all this. Correct? They're going to do this. Now we understood that they're trying to scroll. And since there are so many items in the menu, it is very much possible that they can be overwhelmed. That's the emotion. They can be overwhelmed because there are a lot of options, right? And because of this overwhelming nature, there can be a chance that people are like, okay, let me not order food right now. I'm just too confused right now. Got it? So these two statements are like overwhelmed. I'm just too confused right now. These are very important. I want you to state those emotions very clearly and then lead them to what is happening over here. And because of which there will be drop-offs. That means people might not finish their order. So if they came here for ordering a meals plus something which they generally order along, let's have some papad or something, offer it immediately to them. You ordered meals and obviously the next thing you're trying to look for is a papad. So have it over here. Now we're done. Go fast checkout. Correct? Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do over here. That's the suggestion which is given by the product manager, right? So what is that you need to do? You have to design the experience. Where does this appear? How does this flow? What helps the user move forward? Now again, the idea is already discussed. Okay. The idea is already discussed. So therefore, your credit is not just in coming up with an idea. Your credit is in turning this into an experience. You need to figure out where to come. Where is the user looking at? Where are they thinking about it? What information to provide? What not to provide? This is where your credit lies. Do not be under the misconception that all that you have to do is come up with great ideas and write them in text. Now, so the thing is, your real job is basically not just to get ideas. Anyone can get ideas. Correct? Your job is to translate these ideas into experiences. So let's look at it. Because the thing is, you need to understand your brain as a designer, your brain is always thinking like journeys. That's how your brain naturally thinks. It's not just those lists or just random text ideas. That's not how your brain can naturally think. Your brain can naturally think in terms of those journeys. That means if an idea has to go and materialize, it should not just stay as text alone. If it has to materialize, it has to come out as a sketch because that's how your brain generally thinks. So we need some process which can actually make sure we move from this just ambiguous ideas, these raw ideas which we have in our brain, right? Like that idea which we had, oh, you know what? Probably we can show some items, suggested items over there, is a right idea which you have in your mind or probably you've written in text. But we need a way in which we can take that idea that is a little ambiguous, you don't know what, into a proper journey. Correct? That process is basically sketching, or in other words, called as wireframing. Okay? So we basically use wireframing as a tool for us to go from ambiguity to clarity. But do not misunderstand what wireframing is. Okay? Because the thing is, many people misunderstand wireframing to be an artifact by itself. What do I mean by that? Wireframing is not supposed to be that you are creating as an asset to go and showcase to someone or showcase to users. Your users will never see your wireframes. Your wireframes or sketches are just meant to help you, for you to ideate, for you to put down your brain and use your brain and put down your ideas on paper. That is what wireframing is helping. So your wireframes need not be understood by anyone. It's totally fine. Your sketches and wireframes might need not be understood by anyone unless you are in a team setup and sometimes people are just quickly exchanging some rough ideas. You might want to make those wireframes slightly neater and showcase it to others. But or else you just don't have to worry about explaining your wireframes to anyone. That means your sketches can just be understood by you to a fidelity that you can also understand it later when you're coming back. Like, don't make them so bad that you also cannot understand after you've drawn about it. That's it. But the point of doing this exercise, there is a very clear point of doing this exercise. If someone asks me, once I get an idea, why not directly jump off to a high fidelity tool, let us say like Figma, and explore things there itself? Okay, before I answer this question, I'll ask you only. Why not? Tell me.
We might get stuck with the visuals and all the perfections when it comes to
Correct.
that.
That's it.
So,
Understand this, right? Last I used this term called as fidelity. And what did I say fidelity is?
clarity.
The amount of
Clarity.
clarity.
Right? The higher the fidelity at which you are designing, the more clarity you actually require. The moment you go to a tool which demands high fidelity, you are forced to have full clarity about what is going to come at any place. You got it? Right? So therefore, you stick to a medium which doesn't force you to think about everything on the screen, because you do not have that much clarity at this point of time. And this leads to what? More experimentation. Now ideas can flow, or else just stuck with whatever you're actually thinking in Pike, because you think that you have achieved full clarity over there, and therefore you are basically stuck. You don't want to change. If you don't iterate, it doesn't work, because sketching is supposed to be iterative. Make sense? Now, yes, with practice, people can directly sketch on Figma itself, right? So what does this mean? You're actually using text and rectangles and boxes and everything. But the main point of it is that you have less clarity and you're not really worried about every pixel and every spacing out there. And you're not really worried about what is going to come at that point of time. This is what it means. It can be done on Figma as well, no doubt. Even I wireframe directly on Figma, right? I'm not really sketching them on paper. I can do that. But it is very important to practice it in such a way that you are not stuck with the clarity that UI demands. So therefore, always I advise start off with sketches, right? I have a book, like everything, just rough sketches only, continuous sketching only. And there are other advantages of sketching. The moment you start sketching, you will actually put your focus and start getting much better ideas. That's a very good advantage, because the moment you start writing things, your brain starts to work very well. You don't know that? You've never written love letters, isn't it? Actually on paper. No, not as kids. I've done that, yeah. I mean, you should have done that too. I'm not too old. I'm almost your age only, frankly speaking, but I've still done it. It was not just WhatsApp. Yeah, then you should have understood like what is the meaning of wireframing and iterations and how much does it actually make you feel. Now you understood. So a low fidelity exercise is about low clarity. It's not really about sketches alone. And do not have this misconception that you have to make very neat wireframes. In fact, the moment you showcase very absolutely neat wireframes, the moment you showcase them, you are actually setting up yourself for rejection. Because in industry, we know wireframing does not happen in that particular manner. We do not do this that way. Like, what most people do, they'll actually make UI first. They'll turn that UI into black and white. And then they'll call them as wireframes. Don't do that. Just don't do this. If you have not done that, it's okay. You actually had lesser clarity and you had represented lesser clarity in some manner, and you got more clarity and you represented it in some manner. That's it. That is low fidelity. That is high fidelity. Both might be on Figma. That is fine. but do not force fit a low clarity sketch, which is a black and white version of what you have actually finally made. Do not do these mistakes, right? Clear, everyone? So there is nothing called as perfect wireframes. Please do not strive for making perfect wireframes, perfect sketches. Just don't do that. Okay.